So I was looking at some data from FactSet this morning, and they estimated that if you look at the S&P 500, about 41% of the S&P 500's revenue originates from outside the US, 41%. So that's huge, and it shows you that the S&P 500 is not just the US. There's a lot more to the S&P 500 than just the US, and I think that has some important implications, and it's can be both good and bad depending on how you look at it. I think if you were very bullish on the US and you wanted to play a theme around the US consumer, or the US entrepreneurial spirit, or something like that, you probably wouldn't go to the S&P 500 as the best reflection of those themes. I don't think you would. At the same time, if you think back again to like the market freak out earlier in the year when we were having discussions with people who were like, oh, should we get out of the US? Should we sell all US assets, for example, right? The reality is, if you sell some of the large US mega cap tech companies, you're selling companies that are not just present in foreign markets, but they're leaders in some of the markets that you're actually trying to get exposure to, right? So I think those are some important considerations.
One of the other myths that I've seen here, and sometimes it's in the Boglehead group or sometimes in certain Reddit groups, people that want really simple portfolios, and they're like, the S&P is the only investment that you need on the equity side.
Yeah. No, and it's true. And it's as a sort of, especially if you're a DIYer and you're a minimalist and you're looking for a very simple formula, this idea of just buying the S&P 500 and waiting is very appealing. And, in fairness, it's worked great in the last few years. So, why not? I love it.